Pitchy Patchy, but you can call me Pitchy. Thank you so much for considering me as your new rigging mama.
I offer 2 main rigging tiers, Standard and Advanced.
So, let's break down what that actually means. So, what do my rigging tiers actually change? The biggest difference comes down to how your model moves and how that movement is distributed across the body. It's not about one tier being better than the other. It's about choosing the kind of movement that best suits your model. Standard rigging focuses on clean, stable movement.
You'll still get full face tracking, natural expressions, and smooth motion. However, movements tend to stay more unified rather than being countered into a lot of layered motions. This gives it a more grounded and controlled feel.
Advanced rigging builds onto that by adding more layered movement and depth.
This can include more full body movements, especially in areas like the hips. But this really depends on the design and the kind of motion you want. Instead of everything moving together, different parts of the model can move slightly independently, which makes everything feel more dynamic and three-dimensional. Advanced rigging tends to shine the most on designs that really benefit from body-driven movement, like models with more flow or curvature.
But it doesn't mean it's only limited to that.
For more grounded or masculine models, it usually is used a bit differently, focusing more on depth, layering, and subtle secondary motion instead. So the movement might look a little more controlled overall, but there's still a lot more happening under the hood. And a big part of that also comes down to how the model art is prepared. More separated and layered art allows me to really push those effects further.
Well, we'll discuss that more later. One way to visualize the difference is to look at how the body reacts whenever you move your head.
When you tilt your head, standard rigs usually have the body follow along with it. With advanced rigs, the movement gets a bit more dynamic. The head and hips can move in opposite directions, creating a more natural sway. You'll also notice that with standard rigs, the upper body moves a bit more as one piece, so the range of motion is actually quite a bit wider. With advanced rigs, things stay a bit more centered, and the movement gets distributed throughout the rest of the body instead. So standard feels a bit more direct, while advanced feels more layered. Neither tier is better than the other, it just really depends on the kind of movement you want for your model. That layered movement is also what creates more depth in advanced rigs. Different parts of the model move at slightly different times, which makes everything feel more natural and alive. Something I really want to point out is that both tiers have the same level of facial expression. I don't limit expression based on tier, so you're not losing any personality by choosing standard. Don't worry, I'll make sure your cute little face shines through.
So, let's take a moment to discuss art separation.
Advanced rigging works best when the model is prepared with additional art separation, especially around areas like the torso, hips, and clothing. That separation is what allows me to layer the movement more properly and create that more 3D effect. For example, if something like pants are separated into multiple layers, I can shift and overlap those layers to create more depth and natural movement. But if it's all one piece, the movement will still work, but it'll feel flatter by comparison. So the level of depth I can create really depends on how the model is prepared.
But don't despair, my sweet sunflower seed. If your model isn't set up that way, that's okay. I'll always adapt the rigging to get the best possible result for your model.
And we'll push things as far as we possibly can.
Before I start rigging, I'll go through your model and see if anything needs to be adjusted or recut. I'll also include some suggestions, things that can add additional detail and depth to your model. And if you're working with an artist, they're always welcome to reach out to me. I've worked with plenty of artists to help them with layer separation to make sure your model can look the best it possibly can. Models prepared with more detailed art separation just give me a little bit more to work with and allow me to push those effects even more. So that's the foundation of the rig. From there, we can start adding extra features depending on what you're looking for. On top of these base rigging model tiers, there's also tons of add-ons and customization.
Things like V-bridger, outfit toggles, arm toggles, expression stickers, and animations can be added to either tier.
But beyond that, there's also smaller choices we can make that'll change how your model feels.
For example, when you open your eyes wide, you can choose whether the iris shrinks or the pupil expands, and that completely creates a different expression. For standard rigs, there are also some stylized movement options you can choose from. You can choose how the body reacts to head tilt, whether it follows the motion or moves in the opposite direction to create a more dynamic feel. And you can add small intentional touches to give the model extra personality. Things like the leg shifting, for example. With advanced rigs, personality is expressed a little bit differently. Because movement is distributed throughout the whole model, everything works together as one system. But that doesn't mean personality is lost at all. It just shows up in more subtle physical ways. Things like how the shoulders shift, how the weight settles, or how different parts of the body respond to each other. That's what gives advanced rigs that stronger sense of weight, flow, and presence.
And one of my favorite questions to ask is, what kind of vibe do you want your model to have? Your model art will do a lot of the heavy lifting. But the way your model moves is what really brings the vibe to life on screen.
All the choices you make directly shape how your model feels. Things like eye behavior, body movement, and physics can all be adjusted to match the vibe. So 2 models can be in the same tier and still feel completely different depending on what you're going for.
And if you're not sure yet, that's totally fine. I can help guide you based on your model and what you're generally going for.
So when it comes to choosing between them, Standard is a great starting place if you want something clean, expressive, and more grounded. It also tends to have a wider range of motion in the upper body, which can feel more direct and stylized. It's great for simpler designs or if you like those intentional flourishes. Advanced is a great fit if you want more dynamic, full-body movement where things stay a bit more centered and the motion flows through the body instead. This is especially nice for more detailed models or if you want that extra alive feeling. Neither tier is better, it just really depends on the kind of movement and the vibe you want for your model. So, that's the difference between my model rigging tiers and how we can shape the way your model feels.
If you're interested in commissioning me, feel free to check out my website and my quote calculator to get started. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I'm looking forward to working with you.